Hi, Jackie Chan. I love your movies. Did the car monitor just wave at you? Yeah, it does that from time to time. You're wearing the shirt? I've worn the shirt every day I have streamed this.
It's opening. Godspeed, driver.
Doubt, are we there yet? We'll get to hell when we get there. If it just goes back to the garage, I swear to God.
Hoppy! Hoppy!
Did it work? What's the energy output? Damn it, Alan, I'm fine. Light nearly blinded me. Can you read it?
Yeah, let me see. 500 kilojoules? Hoppy, what is this?
The future. I call it limb waves.
I don't know what I expected, but this wasn't it. Whoa! Updraft. Reminds me of that room at the end of the Matrix with all the TVs.
Coffee delivery.
Alan, gosh. Is it that time already?
So, about leaving Arda. I was thinking, how about by Christmas?
Yes, maybe. I just need to solve this instability issue. I loathe to think about leaving the Olympic Peninsula like this.
Yeah, there's always more to do.
I know. I'm sorry.
And I love you for it. I'm just wondering if you'll really be able to walk away from all this. It's okay if you can't.
You abandoned the world to work here beside me. Fair is fair.
Lem Tech is a world-changing discovery. Your world-changing discovery. Fairness isn't even a consideration.
We agreed to have children, and I'm not having them in this hellhole.
Good, because I'd love to have 8.
Then I hope you're ready to carry at least half of those yourself.
I love you.
I love you.
Isn't Alan dead? Yeah, before you even start playing the game, Alan died in the past. He was Oppie's wife. So you've heard about him. But that's it. Thanks for all of your streams, bro. Thank you, Jackie.
Tobias, the movers are here. Wait, why aren't you packed?
I ain't going.
The evacuation orders
can go to hell. We leave and we never see the inside of these walls again. All the things we've been investigating, the ripple, the echoes from the swamp, they'll all fade away. I'm gonna stay and chase down these stories, wherever they take me.
Tobias,
Stay here. With me.
And then Tobias died. Good job, Tobias. Excellent decision making. What happened to Tobias?
You here to quote?
I'm here to deliver.
Tobias was alive at the beginning of the video game, but like halfway through it, he died. It was very traumatic.
Committee's decision. You have been found guilty of doctoring experimental data. This action is in clear violation of Arda's scientific integrity. Judgment has been rendered. You may stay and work, but your clearance will be lowered to level 3.
So I'm to be a glorified flask cleaner.
Take it as a win. You could have been court-martialed instead.
Yeah, I'm sure you would have liked that much better.
What I like has no bearing on this decision. See you on Monday, Dr. Cook.
Good evening. Hey, Carla. I missed something. Where are you and where's the car? We just drove the car into a portal near the end of the game, and this happened. We're seeing flashbacks.
Driver, do you read me? Driver, you passed through some sort of opening. We managed to hold it steady, but the energy expulsion is growing. We don't have much longer.
If you can hear this, you need to get back now.
Hey, look. The gang's back together.
Tobias?
I never told you how grateful I was that you stayed behind in the zone. With me. These years, best of my life. Foraging for mushrooms, slogging through swamplands, combing through hours and hours of terrible field recordings. Not a single moment wasted. Thank you. For everything.
It was all you. You made me feel capable. That anything was possible. That I wasn't some second-rate scientist. All my happiness was thanks to you. And I'm afraid of how I'll survive without you.
I'm not. You got this. You always have. Hey, Oppie. Alan sends his regards. And he wants to know why you haven't taken his advice yet.
So now they're
Driver.
talking to the remnants of their...
Is that a gumbaroo on your dash? Oh, I'll be damned. Bye. Until next time.
Tobias? Tobias!
Driver, if you can hear this, we can't keep the well stable for much longer. Wherever you are, come back.
I'm running through the TVs as fast as I can. Oh, there's my car. No map. Gas is good, power's good, tires are okay.
Just a little longer. Hold steady, Francis. Keep those limb faces aligned. Not even a .001 deviation, you get me?
I'm trying.
Oh my god!
Wobbly, Oppie.
Shields!
What do you do to stabilize things on your side?
Punching it as hard as I can.
The bunnies? Shields just hold off the bunnies. Flying.
Francis, hold tight.
I can't. The face. It keeps eating.
Driver, punch it. Go!
Dude, I'm sliding so much. I was just like, yeah. Oh no! We're still airborne! Stop, stop, stop! Like a
You made
glove.
it back, driver. All in one piece, it looks like.
And no sign of the
I'm
Remnant's energy
stuck.
signature anywhere in that car.
You're free.
But the car's maintained its link to you. Fascinating. We'll never know how far the Remnant's obsessions wormed into your head, but you should be safe from it getting
pushing
any
it.
worse. In theory.
Oppie, I'm sorry. You didn't get to talk to Alan again.
We managed to pull off the near impossible.
And the first thing you do is apologize?
Sorry.
Don't worry, it was Tobias's fault. He hogged the frequency all for himself yet again.
You heard him too.
I did. That means I didn't imagine that last conversation with Alan. And you know what else?
What?
That your theory was right. And Tobias called it.
All that bluster, and he ended up showing us scientists a thing or two. Those moments we heard, they were all from the past. Being inside that well somehow allowed the Remnant to access those imprints and replay them. But Tobias's voice wasn't from the past, it was from somewhere else entirely.
But where? And how?
No clue. Do me a favor. Once you figure it out, don't bother telling me. I'm leaving the zone.
I'm sorry, what?
Alan came to tell me goodbye, and that I was forgiven 37 years ago. I didn't listen. So now, finally, I'm going to take his advice. I should have left the zone a long time ago.
But if we solve this, maybe there's a way to speak to him again.
I heard what I needed to hear. It only took me 37 years to listen. Anyway, all that sounds like a young scientist game. It's not for me anymore. Francis, you decide what to do from here. You can carry the torch and continue the research, or get out of this cursed place and find your own way. It's your decision. And driver, you're free now. You can do what you want from here. But if you'll allow an old woman one last hope, stay here with Francis. There's so many more stories for the zone to tell. And the both of you are young enough to listen. My ears are bad. And I refuse to hear them. I've removed all access restrictions to my systems, Francis. The helm is yours.
Wait, I don't know if I can do this alone.
You're not alone. You've got clear eyes, ears open to the impossible, and the driver. Dr. Cook. Driver. It's been a pleasure. This is Dr. Ophelia Turner. Signing off.
Abby? Abby! Really? Well,
I like how I don't get a say in this.
Driver, if you don't mind sticking around with me.
I want out!
Abby was right. There's still so much of the zone that we still don't know about. But with your help, we can tell those stories. I'm no Abby.
I want out of here, Francis!
You're no longer bound to
Release me!
But it stayed with you, and will continue to protect you as you travel the zone. Go on, then. As long as you're willing to drive, I'm along for the ride.
I'm not willing! They're just assuming I want to stay here, and I'm just like, I'm a prisoner! In fax machine, if it is what I think it is. Wait, what? She stuck to her word, she never cared to learn your name. Yep. Ah, chat, I wasn't expecting to hit the credits today. We did it! We did it! That was pretty cool. That was honestly pretty cool. So, when all this started, I just thought this game looked kind of neat. I was like, yeah, this looks like it could be fun. And I messaged Pacific Drive, and then, we talked about doing like a sponsored thing, and it didn't work out, but then they ended up sending me like this cool shirt that says Mukluk on it, and they sent me a copy of their game, the toolbox, and all that cool stuff, and I was like, well, they freaking bribed me, now I have to play it, whether I'm getting sponsored or not. I'm gonna try it out. And so I was like, alright, I'll play it for a day, and I'll see how I feel. I played it, I was like, shoot, I'm not usually into driving games, but this is pretty fun. This is pretty neat. And, here we are. At the closing credits, we ended up playing the whole thing. Review time. Review time. We have a tradition here. When we finish a game, we'd like to go back over it and see what we think about it. I'm not usually into driving games, especially racing games. I'm like, oh, they're making a left turn, my favorite part. I get bored. But the, driving around with like the spooky stuff kept it interesting, and the upgrading the car and like maintaining it, it was pretty neat. I was invested. Pretty good storytelling as well. You basically just talk to 3 voices through the, well, 4 if you count Alan's flashbacks. There was Alan, Tobias, Francis, and Appy. You talk to them throughout the game, and that's it. All the storytelling comes from them talking to you on the radio, and you cannot respond. And it honestly worked out. They did it pretty good. I think that those missions where you had to like charge the car and drive past the post in order to charge them, and you had to basically quickly do like a gauntlet, that was very creative for the limitations of like how do we do interesting missions while you're just driving in a car. I think that was done pretty well. Brutal in some ways. There was the time when like, acid was raining and it literally dissolved entire parts of the car. Like they weren't repairable, they were just gone. Like that was a huge blow to my soul. I was like, oh my god, so much progress has been lost. But it ended up not being that bad rebuilding those parts. But going from like tier 3 stuff all the way back to tier 0 was like, ugh. That was a punch to the gut when that happened. But kind of after that moment, it was like, okay, I need to take care of the car. Like, I need to be invested in it, because losing parts really, really sucks. Kind of anticlimactic ending-wise. I was kind of hoping that the driver would finally get connected on the radio, and at the very end, you'd hear the driver like, hello, can you hear me? And then like, we're connected, you know, or something. I was expecting to hear the driver's voice, but I would guess that the reason they didn't do that is so that you can imagine the driver being whatever you want it to be. Like, you know, white, black, Hispanic, yeah, Asian, male, female, whatever. I imagine that they don't have the driver ever talk so that you can imagine the driver is whoever you wish. Let's see. There's a lot of accessibility options to change how easy or hard the game is in the settings. Yeah, I went into the settings. What did I do? I made it to where you don't have to hold the key down in order to start the car or to change gears, because by default you do. And I changed it to where if you're holding a part and you want to change a part on the car, you could just swap them. And you don't have to like pull part off, put it down, pick up new part, put it on. So that was just a quality of life change I did. I left all the other challenging stuff on, like the storms and stuff, just because I felt like, okay, this is the way that they intended the game to be played. Oh yeah, faster nighttime as well, because nighttime lasted forever. The driver was an anomaly all along. Hey. No, that's actually the plot of, oh god. What was that first-person shooter I played, where you have the option to just use technology or the option to become, like, more alien? Prey, yeah. Yeah, the driver being an anomaly all along, Crowley, that was literally the plot of Prey. Yes, that was it. What's up, Jim? He's in the background. He's out of camera shot right now. Music was cool, even if it became a bit repetitive with the streamer mode, it was still cool. Yeah, I haven't played it without the streamer mode, so I imagine there's a whole lot more songs that are, you know, less safe if you play without streamer mode turned on. And then you're back here. So, I imagine that's the end of the story, and then you can just keep playing this for as long as you want. Just taking a look here, I'm wondering, like, how much did we do here? Like, there was that much left there. We got all of this. There was a few tools left. There's a couple, these are lights. There was a few doors left. Honestly, using either armored or lead it felt really good, that was fine. Wheels, I liked the all-terrain tires. They were A rating at everything. All the other options were better at one thing and worse at other things. So I was happy to stop at all-terrain tires. We got all the racks. We got all the storage. We got up to the backseat tank for fuel, and that was fine. It was completely fine. Battery, I never got to build better batteries. I'm using the same car battery from the beginning of the game. We got a few gadgets here. A lot of people screamed at me to try the auto parker. Yeah, guys, that was dumb. It literally saved you one click when you get out of the car. It was whatever. And then the engine. I never got to upgrade the engine. It required materials I never got enough of. I felt like anytime I got to the zones that had the parts for the engine, I had to leave them in a rush. Like either the storm or acid was raining or something, like I had to freaking go. So I felt like I could not sit around to farm stuff on many of my trips to the zones that had those things. Facts? Why the facts? Hold on. I'm not alive, I'm not sentient, I just believe that I am. You know, ad. Eh? What? Not the one I got. Oh my gosh, I'm like screaming about nothing. Okay. Soundtrack you could buy for Steam Epic doesn't have the songs you play on the radio. Although you started the game driving in the garage and you ended the game driving into the garage. It's funny because Francis and Ophelia just assume that like you want to stay here and keep studying the zone, and you could be here just screaming, "Let me out!" and they have no idea you're losing your mind because they can't hear you. Like you like the whole goal is to get out of here. You're like, oh yeah, no, I'm just Francis's prisoner now. Imagine you finally leave in 10 years and then they meet you for coffee and you're just like you're just beating them. And they're like, we don't understand why. And you're like, I was trying to get out of there the whole time. You can get out by leaving the computer. True. All right. Well, this was a very fun game. I wish I'd gotten a few more upgrades on... There was an upgrade for expanded regenerator where you could have more parts in here healing. And there was another upgrade to repair everything on your car a little bit every time you pull into the garage. And I just couldn't get enough stuff to unlock it. Would have been nice to have. But yeah, this was a very fun game. I thought it looked cool, but it ended up being even more interesting than I thought it was going to be. This is our final car covered in glow-in-the-dark stickers. But yeah, pretty enjoyable. If they ever decide to do DLC or a sequel to this game, I would absolutely play it. This was fun. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it too.